Hello, this is Dr. Kojo. I am professor of Daegu University. Today, I would like to talk about establishment of maternity bonus system and revival of the military service bonus system. This article was published in September 13, 2002, Daegu Shimun. No one in the world ages 2 years old in a year, or ages 1 year old in 2 years. That means a child born this year will be 20 years old in exactly 20 years. And while social policy mostly imply uncertainty, it can almost exactly predict the future when it comes to population policy. According to the report by the Board of Audit and Inspection, if the current trend continues, all areas of the country will be transformed into the extinct risk area by 2047. And 95 years later, the population of South Korea will be about 15 million of the 229 cities, country, and districts nationwide. All but 8 areas in the Seoul area are at risk of extinction. And those 8 areas are also classified as at risk of extinction. Although the total population is reduced to the 1/3 of current populations, it has reverse pyramid population structure centered on the middle and elderly people, with few children and young people. And the crisis of national extinction is rapidly approaching beyond the local extinction. However, the national perception of population extinction is tantamount to the fact that the frog in the pot gradually increase the temperature of water and eventually die without knowing it is hot. Even though the situation has reached this point, failing to take certain measure is the government incompetence and dereliction of duty. And students are giving up the future for the benefit of their generation immediately. It has been a long time since Korean fertility rate ranked the lowest in the world, but it has had to find a solution. The population problems in Korea can be summarized as the low birth rate and aging. And the aging problem is a natural phenomenon that emerged with the development, advanced technology, and is consistent with the most people's desire to live long. The aging problem can be solved by strengthening welfare policy and increasing fertility rates. And the core of population problem is the low birth rate. The low birth rate problem can be prevented by changes in social and cultural policies along with economic support. And in fact, many countries around the world, including France, Denmark, Norway, and Germany, are successful, despite investing 130 trillion won over the past decade. The South Korea has repeatedly failed to its policy, goals of government policy of pushing its children too far into the competitive society, which makes people unhappy. A short-term effect isn't. In particular, birth policy is closely linked to the various social issues such as education and jobs, making the situation worse with the short-sighted government policy and changing its policy stance every time in regime change. The regime changes. Various policies can be implemented to solve the low birth rate problem, but it is time for direct support policies beyond the seriousness. The reason for the birth rate can be largely divided into the economic and the social reasons. First, to solve economic problems, the state should bear more economic costs, childbirth and parenting. And as more children are born, uh, support policy is needed at the pan-government level to provide social and economic benefits. Another is the difficulty of the balancing work and family with career breaks for women who give birth. This problem can be solved by the active introduction of so-called birth additional point system. In other words, with the spread of maternity leave system, additional points should be introduced for employment and promotion to systematically prevent pregnant and childbirth from causing economic and social difficulty and damage to women and their family. In addition, along with support for single-parent family, change in social perception of life value and human dignity should be continuously pursued. In particular, the birth additional point system should be implemented with revival and military service additional point system, which was recently abolished to solve the problem of decreasing shortage of military resources and reduce social equity controversy. Recently, the National Assembly has also been discussing the issue of giving additional points when reemployment after childbirth. But that alone is not enough. In the case of women who have given birth to a child, certain additional points must be given regardless of new or reemployment. Financial and social support should be greatly strengthened at the national level so that there is no career interruption for pregnant women. If the government fails to solve the low birth rate with such a change in social awareness, and a groundbreaking supporting policy, government will be incompetent. The people will be foolish and will be a typical small mistake, and the price will be handed over the future generation, where which will eventually lead to the disappearance of the country.